All right, I guess that's as good of a spot to start as any. What's up, guys? It's the No Fun Zone podcast. Got my good friend Danny Starr in today.
Hey, how's it going?
He's actually in the studio. How about that? Isn't that fucking crazy? All right, let's get this shit started then. Cheers, bud. All right, what is up? How's it going, dude?
It's good, man. How are you?
It's good.
Nice.
Good. Stoked to get you in the studio.
Yeah, man.
It's fucking awesome.
It's nice to be back in Boulder.
Yeah, dude.
Been a minute.
We just went for a little skateboard, which was nice.
Yeah, survived the day.
Couple-
Got some tricks in.
Couple old farts.
Yeah.
Still trying to hang out on skateboards.
Fun spot too.
Yeah.
It's a good find.
Yeah, good shit. And Danny just hit the camera.
Yeah, already fucking up. Just gotta rip those band-aids right off.
Just rip them off.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be perfect.
Yeah. You know,
It never will. But that's life, isn't it?
say love
Always getting better.
you. Yeah.
You know,
Always.
got to keep it spicy. Variety is the spice of life. Well, yeah, dude. We for everybody out there listening potentially, Danny and I had a podcast. About a month ago,
About
something like that, over Zoom.
Yeah.
And we started talking about something that I think I've pretty much brought up in almost every podcast, which is the younger dryas. Because for some reason I'm fucking obsessed with it. And so we're just gonna continue that conversation. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about it and reading some articles.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Shit, he's on top of his game.
I'm trying, man.
Let's
I'm
do
really
it.
trying out here.
I'm fucking pumped, man. I pretend I have conversations with people in my head like every day about this shit. Because it's just not something you bring up at a fucking social interaction.
No. There's like
They're
certain
like-
things. Try to get laid. Don't just bring up to like this stuff is like maybe 10th date material.
Yeah.
This isn't stuff you bring up on the first date with someone.
10's a safe number.
That's
I like
probably
that.
safe. You don't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah.
You don't want to be jumping in. It's the same thing. You don't want to be the guy saying, "Did you know the swastika was actually originally a Hindu symbol and it was going the wrong way?" Technically, you're right, but don't be that guy at the fucking party.
Yeah,
Nobody
don't be
likes that guy.
Yeah.
So one thing I remember seeing that kind of blew me away a couple years ago. Did you see? They found an actual crater under the ice in Greenland.
Yeah, they found a fair number of those, I think.
They found a pretty beefy one.
Kinda fatty.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
it's adding on to it.
19 miles wide,
Okay.
which is like
That's big.
and could be dated to 12,000 years ago.
I wonder what's going to uncover in the ice sheets.
Probably nanoglass.
Nanoglass?
Yeah,
Like
nuclear glass.
Oh, from the meteors?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Um,
my head was already like lost civilization under
oh,
the...
right.
But no, yeah, nanoglass for
let's
sure.
let's go into just the history of sort of what we're talking about. For anybody who doesn't know, which it seems like most people probably don't know what we're talking about because
Yeah.
nobody ever wants to talk about it with us.
If you guys don't know about it, hooray for you.
Yeah, but also too late because now you're about to hear about it. So fuck you.
Just sit down.
Just
Let us tell you about something.
So it's called the younger dryas impact theory, and it's the idea that some scientists and authors have put forward, saying that what ended the last ice age was a giant meteor strike or asteroid strike, about 12,800 years ago to 11,600 years ago, I do believe, which is kind of like. When they look at the data and all the warming and temperature spikes, I don't see how else you explain it other than an impact or maybe solar flares. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like that's one thing that always in science class they never tell you what ended the ice age, just that it ended.
Yeah.
You know, you got no explanation. And so when I first heard this theory, it was very intriguing to me, I guess, because it's the first time somebody's offered like a real explanation for it.
Yeah.
And one that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And that's evidence is stacking.
Oh, stacking quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Very cool.
But it hasn't been caught on into like the mainstream kind of.
Not yet. No.
You know.
Yeah.
People are still pushing back on it.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating because it seems so logical.
You know, but it it has extended beyond where it was in the beginning of kind of being like
absolutely
that kind of extremist kind of view to no, this has legitimacy. It's a valid hypothesis, and the evidence is stacking.
Yeah,
so
I think
it's just a matter of collecting more data and then bringing that into the educational systems.
Well, approaching it more sort of scientifically. And going out and finding the actual data and the evidence for it, as opposed to like, I think part of the reason why I got kicked off on a slightly negative foot as far as the science world goes is Graham Hancock,
because of its ties to its assumption of lost civilizations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's where, if that hadn't been, which that's the most interesting part to me.
Oh, that's the most fanciful, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It makes your brain go fucking apeshit.
And
just thinking about all the possibilities that could have been.
Human beings have had the same anatomical brain for 250,000 years, 300,000 years.
Yeah.
Why did we only wait until the last 10,000 years to start even getting close to developing society?
Right.
Like,
and then you find evidence like Göbekli Tepe,
which that's the one thing that Graham Hancock nailed. And that's the one thing that like the scientists can't really refute him on, because it is there, and it is undoubtedly dated to 12,000 years ago.
And it's fucking massive.
It's giant.
60-some circles in counting.
Yeah, and like each circle
all intentionally buried at some point in history that no one has any idea about.
Yeah. Which
I had a little side tangent on Göbekli Tepe. I read this book of the Cygnus Key. Dropping the name on the author. Pretty far out there book as far as research goes.
Which is fun.
It dives into a lot of the archaeological evidence of Denisovans and stuff like that. But what they were talking about Göbekli Tepe is a lot of those circles are like perfect 3-4 ratios and really, really good for acoustics, where you find like the centerpiece and the where they think the audience would have been. And so they think they had remarkable intelligence on how geometry harmonizes with sound.
Interesting.
In like fucking pretty in-depth ways.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's fair. I always knew that they were aligned perfectly to north and south.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they were set up.
Pillars face like these avenues.
Sort of like how Red Rocks Amphitheater is a naturally acoustic place.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that. But it kind of makes sense.
Fucking wild shit, man.
That's a theory that they kind of had about Stonehenge. And it's sort of like connection into like sort of religious ceremonies.
Yeah.
And that the vibrations. I mean, that's why, Catholic cathedrals are ginormous with huge tall ceilings, because it amplifies the sound.
Reverberating it.
And that makes the sound more powerful. And humans...
Domine.
Oh,
drink my fucking blood and eat my fucking flesh.
Yeah. Man flesh. We can definitely get into that later for sure too.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a subtle psychological way of making people sort of feel that religion maybe has more power, because the sound of the chants that they were doing in like the early.
I mean, think about how you had that absolutely nowhere in fucking life. You had no comprehension of like stereo systems or anything,
right?
And then you walk into a cathedral. Your broke, uneducated ass, and you fucking heard. It's just like,
and the echo, and it's just
the angels must be up there, bro.
Well, and also just the physical reverberations.
Yeah.
Like when you go to a concert that has loud bass.
Yeah.
That reverberation and just the atmosphere that you're in amplifies the feeling you get out of it.
Yeah, man, that's a good shout.
And that's probably, maybe they were just the original, like, maybe it was like the whole Clapton is God thing of the 60s. And it was just the original rock stars made such dope music that everyone worshipped them. And that turned into, that's a good fucking movie right there. That's like a Bill and Ted's Excellent Journey or Bogus Journey or whatever. Yeah, the original rock stars were so good, and they played at the fucking dopest venue.
Oh yeah.
And everyone felt them. And they were all tripping balls on mushrooms that they found underneath cow patties.
Yeah, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah. I love that idea.
All right, back off the tangent. Back onto just
Okay, yeah,
Göbekli
fuck, go
Tepe.
back. I was going to keep going down, so I'm glad you stopped it.
Yeah, we could have got
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
down a long dark rabbit hole, just like Jefferson Airplane. Follow the white rabbit.
Good man, Ryan. You're a good man.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn.
All right, so we found out Göbekli Tepe had some really insightful archaeology, boating back to where our evolutionary brains have been about 250,000 years old.
Yeah, and for that to be 100% dated to 12,000 years ago, and clearly even now with the new evidence that you found, that's 100% a sophisticated thing.
Oh yeah,
there's no way that hunter-gatherers had the time or the organizational power to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for the most part, hunter-gatherers are usually going to be nomadic, so why would they spend the time building this gigantic structure that are 60-ton blocks, maybe more than that. I don't even know. I should look that up.
And if it could have been, they could have been, I don't know what the term is, but they could have been partially nomadic too. So they could have been able to and if you think about communities coming to use it on a larger scale, it's like people would always be in flux. But I mean, still, that's a way more complex dynamic than just nomadic populations running around.
Yeah,
it changes the game.
And I mean,
and all that stuff requires centuries of fucking buildup.
Totally, and preparation.
To understand the proportions of that shit.
Well, and just learning how to move rocks and how to carve rocks.
Oh yeah,
like
pulley systems and shit like that. Fucking moving Stonehenge.
Yep,
that
moving
one.
Stonehenge, dude.
Stonehenge. From like Wales down into the Salisbury Plains or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah.
And they had to drag those stones for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
And supposedly the wheel wasn't invented until like the 4th century BC. So they were doing it with just like logs and rolling them on logs. It just doesn't add up in my mind. It doesn't make any sense. So like there, at a certain point, I feel like a lot of the scientists are kind of like splitting hairs. You know what I mean? Of just like, okay, so what constitutes a society? You know what I mean? Like there clearly was some sort of society. Mm-hmm. And again, it comes down to the semantics of like when Graham Hancock talks about this hyper advanced, culture from those times. He means hyper advanced for what we look at in the historical record. Like not necessarily meaning that they're as advanced as us.
Oh, no, not at all. Just complex societies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's people tend to pick on like these little things and make that the big issue. And
he also gets tied to the alien people, and it's like
because he was on Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
He fucked up a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's also a rock star, so I don't blame him.
No. And his arguments do make sense. They're well articulated. They're supported with facts. His work with Robert Schoch, I believe, on the dating of the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Like that's very compelling to me. That the Sphinx is probably more likely to be in that 12 to 13,000 year kind of range as well. Yeah,
it's fascinating.
And honestly, the one thing I always think about is how quickly and easily our society could collapse if something catastrophic happened. Like our society is so fragile, and nobody thinks that it's as fragile as it is. But if you just literally took away the internet, society's gonna collapse.
There's gonna be some people who are gonna lose their fucking minds.
Look what happened when COVID hit. Like people stockpiling and running to the grocery store and all this panic over a virus.
Yeah.
If the internet goes out, or especially if the power grid goes completely offline, we're doomed.
And we're all based off of satellite, right? So it's like, and I hear China is working on ways to do that via not satellite, and they're also practicing running into their own satellites. But let's not go there because I don't know jack shit about that shit.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But there's also the fear of solar flares taking out
Yeah.
all of our satellites, which could easily happen.
Yeah. I saw fucking, there's this webpage that shows the virtual amount of space trash like revolving around our Earth, and it's like a shit show. Maybe if some things could fucking get blasted out, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Just have to do some resets is all. But should we full circle back from Graham Hancock to back to the Younger Dryas?
Let's do it.
Because
yeah,
that's where we were, right?
Because the Younger Dryas is more of like, that's more of the scientific side of thing, the comet impact theory.
That's Graham Hancock's strongest evidence that he uses in his theories, right? So
yeah. And then he sort of pontificates on the thoughts of possibly having, a more advanced society before that. But yeah. The real science and the data is definitely in the Younger Dryas impact theory. And like, first of all, that was the largest extinction episode in Earth's history for the past 5 million years. And the typical thing, like the stuff that we were taught in school, was that early humans overhunted all the mammoths.
Yeah, I always thought that one was really silly.
That makes no sense.
It's like you got some nomadic societies like that. It's like I don't think they would. Well, I don't know. I'm putting a lot of hypotheticals into my brain. But you would think that most nomadic populations would be, and not to do the romantic barbarian or whatever, but
great band name, by the way, the Romantic Barbarian.
Let's do it, dude. Let's do it. I think I got the term off, but fuck it, I'm stoned as shit. Where it's like, if you're nomadic, you're basing your life so much more with being in tune in your surrounding areas. So if you're out hunting your food supply, you're being a fucking idiot.
Sure.
Right? So it's like,
if you're overhunting your food supply.
How realistic is that application for...
Well, I totally see that, and usually I feel like that is the case, is that they stay in sort of a homeostasis.
Yeah.
Where, but you see it in nature, growing up where we grew up in Colorado in the Greenbelt, we could tell, especially because our house was backed up to the Greenbelt, we could tell how the coyote population was doing based on how many rabbits were born in our yard every year.
Yeah.
So,
and you guys had a great outlet for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Experiment for sure.
So, but it would always be a constant fluctuation of like, if we only have like a few rabbits in the yard, coyotes are doing super well right now.
Also, all of my fucking cats coming down to your house and fucking shit up.
Oh yeah, totally.
20 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking tiger.
Put in some variants, but yeah. No,
No, but and also I'm pretty sure the Native Americans, when settlers first came over, I remember hearing this. This might be bullshit, so somebody might want to fact check this, but I think the buffalo population across America was sort of on the brink of being killed off. And then smallpox came through and wiped out all of the Native Americans. And then there was an obscene amount of buffalo.
I had no fucking idea.
And then that's when people started hunting buffalo just for their tongues.
Yeah, yeah.
And there'd be piles
leaving
of dead
those
buffalo.
Fucking piles.
Yeah. So it's a weird. Humans aren't good at that homeostasis thing, I don't think.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be able to kill off.
Fair.
They wouldn't be able to kill off all of the megafauna. I can maybe understand mammoths or like something or like a buffalo type animal.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I would eat. But what about the short-faced bear? What about the saber-toothed tigers or saber-toothed cats?
Chivalrous Native American knights going out to fucking slay their short-faced
slay
bears.
The dragons. Just stabbing them with sticks.
Yeah.
Ah! Ah!
Right? No metal, nothing. Just, oh man, that'd be gnarly as fuck.
But yeah,
they show those tar pits where it's like,
there's
just hundreds of these animals all at once, seemingly like all around each other, and it's like they just all at once just got wiped the fuck out.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh, and it seems like something that would happen maybe from like some floods and stuff like that. Create these massive tar pits, mud pits and shit like that.
Well, especially where they find it. Like if it were at the bottom of a cliff, it would maybe make sense because I know that is a hunting strategy that some more nomadic hunter-gatherer people have used is just run a whole herd of things off a cliff.
Yeah.
But in the places that they find these like death pits, it's not in those kind of, it's not in an area like that. It's more of like, yeah, it looks like it's been swept down by water into a ravine.
Yeah.
And then everything just kind of pooled together.
Mm-hmm.
And then the tar comes from all the bodies decomposing all together without getting oxygen. Yeah. Yeah, it just... There's a reason why Africa has more giant animals than America does. And to me, it makes sense that that would maybe be a common impact on North America.
Yeah.
When, you know, North America was covered in 2 mile thick sheets of ice.
Yeah.
Like, it seems to make sense. And how else do you explain how quickly all of that ice was just vanished? Like the what is it, like melting point A and B? There's two different, like, in the Younger Dryas theory. I don't know if I have this fucking graph up. Yeah, melting pulse 1B, 1. Yeah. Either way, there's...
No, bring it up. I'm just being a dick.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what it is.
Can you share your screen on the recordings too?
Yeah, I can always, like, take a picture and just sort of, like,
Nice.
edit that in there.
Cool.
I wish I had Randall Carlson set up and just thousands and thousands and thousands of slides just already prepared. Yeah, the Younger Dryas, it just... It's sort of a, what is it, Occam's razor? The simplest solution is often the most likely.
Okay.
And to me, like, we see craters all over the world. We know that that's a thing. We know asteroids are a real thing. One almost hit Russia like 6 years ago. We know that that's a thing, and we know that it's a potential likelihood. And it seems like the easiest explanation to describe the just sort of the rapid, just intense, immediate end of the Ice Age.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what else.
And it explains the spikes as well too, right? When you go through the process of events,
Yeah,
you're going to have an extreme amount of chaos and heat, followed by getting blocked, the sun being blocked out for X amount of years, and so it becoming
winter.
really cold and hard for living for that reason.
Yeah.
And so the globe, even on smaller shifts of like 3 or 4 degrees Celsius or some shit, it's like the Earth goes through
drastical.
God damn it. Goes through major shifts in climate. So it's like where maybe animals and life has been in a forest with plenty of water and trees and things like that for tens of thousands of years, where evolution can do its thing. All of a sudden that becomes, more dry, less water becomes access to it, and evolution is going to take course. The strong are going to survive and evolve, and the other ones are going to die out.
Yeah.
And so when you have extremes like that, you're going to have mass extinctions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Sahara Desert is a perfect example. Because 12,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert was a lush jungle.
Think about the cradle of civilization, too.
Yeah, Mesopotamia. Yeah, in between the Tigris and the Euphrates. Yeah.
Think about what we're doing to the West Coast right now.
Totally. Yeah.
We're in the process of doing that.
The world is a dynamic and constantly changing place. It's not a static, even though humans like to think that it's a static, unchanging place, but we only see such a small window. Mm-hmm. You maybe, if you're lucky, get to see a century's worth of the Earth changing. Yeah. Which is usually like, it's going to be very minute in that small of a structure, but geologists think more in the realms of,
millions.
Yeah, and
of years.
10,000 years
in the past
is a rapid change.
Yeah.
Whereas,
And we also, those shifts happen and occur naturally too.
Absolutely.
I don't know much about it, but precession. where you
yeah.
our
The
Earth's
wobble.
axis every 12 some thousand years or whatever shifts its like polar axis, and even that tilt is going to change how the sun hits our Earth, and it's going to change those environments around it too, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's going to change.
Yeah.
You know, potential, and also magnetic shifts of the poles.
Yeah.
That's a natural occurrence as well.
Yeah.
Happens seemingly randomly and could prove to, bring a lot of chaos into the world if all of a sudden all the magnetic field shifts a full 180 and then maybe shifts a full 180 back in another 1,000 years.
That'd be fucking fucked up.
The birds wouldn't know where to fly. Which way is north? It's wintertime. I'm a goose. Where am I supposed to go? The magnets are going all wickety wockety.
Fucked. How does those magnet shifts change? Do we know anything about that?
I don't think. I mean, I think it's all mostly theory, but I think what I've heard is that, as Earth's like core spins, maybe I think it has to do with something with the core. Like the Earth's mantle doesn't shift.
First you change inside, then you change outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but it is definitely a thing. Like they can see
that.
in terms of the strata of rock layer as it's being produced in like the Marianas Trench.
Yeah.
Every X amount, I don't even know how many thousands of years it would be.
Dude, precession. I think precession happens a full procession.
I want to say it's like 24,000 something.
Exactly. Yeah, right. And so if you think about modern anatomical humans being around for 250,000 years, then that's happened, 6 or 7 times at least in our Homo sapiens history on Earth. And so like what kind of, and think of, further back in the past, what those shifts meant for populations, what it meant for the fucking Earth with like fucking mega volcanoes blowing up and shit too.
Yeah. Oh, that's more terrifying than anything.
Yeah.
Is if Yellowstone blows.
Dude, if Yellowstone blows, we're fucked.
I'm just happy I'm close to the epicenter.
Just roast a bone and enjoy your life for what little you have, right?
Smoke a doob, fire a big old fat turkey leg of a doob up, smoke it down all the way to the crutch, and watch the fireworks come.
Hey, Ash, I'm going to roll another joint while we keep talking.
All right, sounds good.
Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
This is a perfect conversation for some weed.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree. Yeah, well, a lot of people I feel like don't even know that true north and magnetic north are two totally unrelated, totally different things.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, true north does not. True north. I just went Irish on you.
Yeah.
True north.
You got it. True north what?
True north. I think it. I fucked that up. True north.
Yeah.
Is the basically the axis that the Earth spins on, where magnetic north is about 12 to 15 degrees off of that.
Okay.
And that
so the magnetic poles are slightly different.
Yep.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Does it ever shift? Have we ever found it shifting yet?
Well, that's what we were talking about.
The theory of it.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's not a theory. I mean, it does shift, but we just don't know why. I don't think.
Okay. Dude, when I was getting my when I was in some of my like obscure European history medieval classes, like there's like documents of monks writing up all the people that got caught having sex in the cathedral like on a daily basis. And there's just like lists of hundreds of people who get busted having sex in fucking church.
Oh yeah.
Where they all congregate and like some people go off and be like fucking shit.
Father Daniels, where have you been this morn? It was a spooky ghost.
Run to me.
Yeah, there's got to be. I would imagine there'd probably be some priest orgies that go down.
Well,
I mean, if you want to get into
I mean, in the medieval ages, it had to be like super underground if it was doing it. But like,
well, they used to be able to marry.
There was definitely sex cults for sure.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Yeah. And there are now.
Oh, 100%.
And I fucks with it. Dude, look at this life of variety going on right here.
This is the variety show.
Yeah.
This is actually very much the variety show.
Yeah. It's like walking into the mind of like an extremely happy schizophrenic. Everything is awesome. He's like deep into like 12 hobbies and they're all over his home. It's dope as fuck.
I could cut back.
It's like
that is really funny.
No, cut back, no way, dude. You're just like following your curiosities and shit.
Well, just a happy psychopath. Or a happy schizophrenic.
Hypo-schizo. You're not. I don't think you're a psycho. You're a pretty level-headed dude.
I think so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
You got some stoicism in you, and I think it bodes like 90% super well for you, 95% super well for you.
No, I thank you, dude. I appreciate that. And I'm definitely like I'm more of the silent type in most times. Even though like it's weird.
Yeah.
If I'm with the right person, I will talk for 3.5 hours straight. But if I'm just not feeling like it, I'm quick to be just quiet as shit.
I feel like you and me are both pretty good at like tuning out large crowds. It's just like kind of smoke screens. We do a little better in the more kind of smaller
interpersonal. Yeah, totally. Like parties were always like, if I knew a bunch of people at the party, great fucking time.
Yeah.
If I know 2 people at the party, I'm going to be hanging with those 2 people pretty much the whole night.
Exactly.
And then occasionally striking up conversations with
meet
other
new people, but it's like completely different social situations.
Well, it's also like, it's like in a Fight Club. There's single serving friends for the most part. When you go to like a party.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, you see them that one time.
Yeah.
And then you probably never see them again.
Yeah.
So it's like, have niceties, have a conversation, but it's kind of a single serving friendship.
Yeah.
Just like, cool. All right. Catch you never.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, I think you and I always have like just, for the most part, a core group of friends.
Yeah.
We're never, like, we're cool with everyone. And nobody's ever like, we never rub people the wrong way. But also, like, I don't get super close to too many people.
Yeah.
Which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
It's nicer that way.
Yeah, man.
You can still see people and stay high and be cool.
Yeah. You're also like, you can hang out with yourself and have a fucking great time.
Oh, totally.
A lot of people can't do that. And like you thrive, like I'm similar, like why we have so many curiosities and like why we are digging into random shit. It's just because it's like we're so fascinated and curious about what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Our existence. What is this?
Yeah.
So a lot of our time is with ourselves, digging into that shit, and we fucking love it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, to a certain extent, for sure. I mean, after quarantine last year, like it went after like proper quarantine, after like 6 weeks of like not getting to see like anybody, I was like, yeah, I could use a fucking hug right now. Mm-hmm. I would like to actually hang out with somebody and talk with people. But for the most part, it was like, we're both introverts, but we're sort of learned extroverts, where we're happy and almost need time by ourselves to decompress, but can still be perfectly sociable. I mean, like, I'm a hardcore introvert, and I started a podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's usually not an introverted thing to do.
I mean, the network you've built is expansive, of like the people that you are like, we're good friends, we know each other. So it's like, you're building in that aspect.
Yeah.
Right? So it's, yeah.
But I think
means you like to go out, fucking meet new people, expand like where you're going and shit, and meet people along the way.
Yeah. And then you can still have your own thing that you do just for you.
Yeah.
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 And especially like, I'm sure your art is just very meditative.
Sometimes it's the exact opposite. But it's just what it is.
Yeah. It is what it is.
You know what's weird is like when you go into the art room and it's like you have to try to find an energy like to paint. And so it's like you're becoming that energy. And so like, and I mean, that's how it can become like super therapeutic at times too. But it's like, if I'm doing something like super chaotic and loud, it's like, I got to fucking get there. And then I can start really doing it and like get absorbed into the work.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some days like I'll go to pick up a guitar and play like 2 songs and be like, I'm not feeling it. Mm-hmm. And then other days you're just like, boom, locked in, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also kind of have to get yourself there because you still have to be producing Like I play guitar just for myself. So if I don't feel like playing guitar,
Yeah.
then I don't have to play guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I don't know. I just fucking love it, man. So it doesn't. I mean, most days it's really exciting.
Yeah.
You know, I think especially when you're working for yourself. So recently, I've been finding more time to do that, which has been pretty damn nice.
Nice.
So when you can work for yourself, it's like you're completely absorbed in who you are in this moment, and trying to like put that out, you know, on the canvas. So it can be really rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when you get stuck in like commissions, deadlines, things like that. It's like, oh, I can't like absorb myself into this project. I have to get it done. Sometimes, you just gotta roll with the punches.
I mean, that's life.
Yeah.
You can't be awesome all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
And
gotta
then,
deal
dude,
with...
you know the worst are picky ass clients. Those are the hardest people to deal with.
So, like, you give them an idea for what you're planning on doing, and they just nitpick it,
Yeah.
pull it apart.
Yeah, yeah. It's tricky, especially when they're
Well-
not paying like the amount that they should be getting paid for the project to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, this is what I have to work with. And so it's like,
You're hiring, I mean, from your perspective, it's like you're hiring me because you've seen my work and you like what I do. Have faith in me. Have some trust in I'm going to do
and that's most people.
the best job.
That's most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
And,
heard...
more and more of them. I find myself coming into contact with more and more of them. And so it's really rewarding. And it's like following that trail, it's super exciting to paint.
Yeah.
Waking up every day, just doing that is really exciting.
I've heard a lot of tattoo artists get that kind of shit a lot.
Yeah.
Where somebody comes in and they have a picture in their mind of exactly what it's going to be. And they can just go and change it and change it and change it and change it. It's like, no, this... You're going... if you did it the right way, you looked at the artist's portfolio and you like what they do, you come to them with your idea and give them some free reign.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe have like one or two, like, actually, I was thinking about doing this like this. But usually a good artist is going to say like, oh, actually, for like the composition of the piece, that makes absolutely no sense. And this is why, and this is how you should do it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, lady, are you an artist? Can you do this? No?
Yeah.
I am, and I went to school for this. And I've been doing this as a living for a long time. Let me do what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get that a lot. I've done it to them too, and I always feel bad because I know what it's like. But yeah,
I mean, anytime you're working with people, there's always a shithead every once in a while.
yeah.
Out of 100 people, how many assholes out of 100 people? How many, like, what percentage do you think out of people in general is an asshole?
In the context of me and my experience,
Oh, I'm just saying, just
because that's all I can really give you.
Oh, yeah, but just like in the general world, how many out of 100 people?
So objectively, there's an objective term for an asshole. We'll just say that's what that is, and then okay, what do you think that would be if there was like a world count?
Okay.
Is that where we're going?
Sure. I didn't follow where you were.
Assholes. Assholes probably 60%.
You'd say 50 or 60%?
But here's the thing about that question is flawed because you can be at one point an asshole and then for the next 10 years not an asshole.
Totally.
So that is also going to change. It's not
Yeah.
like there just are assholes and are not assholes. It's like everybody has the potential to be a fucking asshole.
Absolutely, depending
And
on like your
sometimes it takes a dick
circumstance.
to fuck the assholes because the pussies will never fuck the assholes. You need a dick to
It's
fuck
true.
the assholes.
It's true.
South Park.
No. Team America.
Trey Parker and
Same guys. Matt Stone.
Matt Stone. Thank you.
Yeah. No, well, I agree that, yeah, it is situationally based, but you know there are just some people out there that are just assholes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
They just treat people like, generally just treat people like
Got in these
shit.
shit ass patterns and they just like fuck everything.
Yeah, I think it's maybe 10%.
So that amount of those people, 10%,
I would say.
respect that.
For people that are just generally just rude, just cunts,
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say 10%.
Cool.
Maybe a little less. Maybe like 7.
10% of people are stuck in a state of Assholery.
Assholery.
A long-induced state of assholery. A lifetime's sentence.
I like assholery is a great word.
Assholery. Assholerists.
That rolls off the tongue very nice.
Assholers. Yeah, definitely the
Yeah.
assholeries.
And I think a lot of that, I mean, even maybe a portion of those people are just oblivious to the fact that they are assholes.
That's probably part of their problem, yeah.
That's who said it? An unexamined life is not worth living.
Oh, yeah.
You got to pay attention to when you're being an asshole so you can learn to stop being a fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And some people just don't have that ability to examine their life. And they will just forever be stuck in assholery.
Assholery. The state of being stuck in perpetual assholery. Of being in a state of being a perpetual asshole. I don't know how the fuck to say that sentence.
Being stuck in perpetual...
Assholery. Being stuck perpetually in the form of an asshole. Oxford Dictionary, get us on the phone.
That's what it was. I was saying assholiness.
Assholiness. Your assholiness.
That's a South Park shit episode.
Your
assholiness.
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did do it.
But yeah, 10%'s a good number for that assholery.
I would say, yeah. All right, let's just do a little wrap up, I guess.
Yeah.
Fucking hell yeah, dude. Thanks for doing this, dude.
Yeah, man, this was great.
Yeah, this was fun as fuck. Dope. All right, everybody. That's the No Fun Zone. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, man, this is fucking fun. I just love shooting the shit with you.